I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. The Department of Justice has just filed its response to the joint filing it and Donald Trump's lawyers made last week on last Friday, where they each provided to the judge a recommendation of who they would each want to become the special master. The Department of Justice gave two names, Trump gave two names, and today on September 12th, they each provided a response. Earlier today, Trump responded with an objection, and the objection said that he objected to the individuals requested by the Department of Justice, but didn't provide any reasoning or explanation, but instead told the judge that if the judge wanted to know the reasons for the objection, that he would provide him privately through a in-camera filing where just the judge would see it and it would not be transparently filed publicly, which I commented earlier on is extremely weird and odd. And if Donald Trump wanted to make a filing outside of the public view, the proper procedure he should have filed was just a notice of filing under seal, make the showing why the document should be under seal, and just make the objection, if that's the path you wanted to go, in an under seal filing if the court granted the under seal filing. The public could still object to that. News and media organizations can say there's no basis for it to be private and confidential and not filed in the public record, but Trump didn't even do that. He told the judge, I'm going to file, and this is an objection. I'll give you the reason if you want to know, but I want to do it confidentially, but let me know if you want to know. It was a very weird filing. Here, the Department of Justice, though, explained why they think that the judges who they requested should be appointed. But interestingly, and this is where Trump's selection of special masters, I think, completely backfired on Trump, is the Department of Justice said, hey, one of the two people who Trump picked, we'll use that judge. It's a retired federal judge who Trump claims was a retired federal judge. More on that in a second. But we think that the qualifications for a special master shouldn't just be some random person who's a lawyer, even if they're a successful private lawyer or not so random in the legal community. It needs someone with special judicial experience in these areas. So the Department of Justice said in their response filed today that Trump's attempted pick of someone named Paul Huck Jr. should be rejected because he has no judicial experience or qualifications. But one of the people who Trump selected, I think to the surprise of many legal observers, though, was someone named the Honorable Raymond J. Dearie. And Raymond J. Dearie is a judge who sits at the Eastern District of New York. And it was surprising for a lot of reasons. Number one, Trump said that he was a retired judge, but Judge Dearie is actually not retired. And as the Department of Justice brief points out that they just filed, they said Judge Dearie is on senior status with the court, but he doesn't appear to be actually retired. And so there may actually be conflicts in the ability of a currently working judge to take outside employment outside of the judiciary. But the government said to the extent Judge Dearie is able to oversee this case, we'd be happy to have him as the special master, one of Trump's selection. Now, this election was odd, too, because Judge Dearie was on the FISA court that issued the search warrant for Carter Page. And Judge Dearie is known as a very kind of rational, no-nonsense judge with very high reputation who would not be okay with parties stealing top secret, sensitive, compartmented information or nuclear secrets. But some of the legal commentators said, well, the reason that Trump may have picked Judge Dearie is his view that because some of the FISA warrants appear to be defective, would Judge Dearie take a dim view of this search warrant executed on August 8th, and would Judge Dearie's experience as being one of the judges on the FISA court maybe influence him to be very skeptical of the government search warrant in this case. So people thought maybe that's the reason why Trump would do it, even though he signed off on the search warrant for Carter Page. But the government said, hey, we're fine with Dearie. We're fine with Judge Dearie. But Trump's claiming he's retired. He's not retired. And there are rules against currently active judges being paid private employment. So he may not even be allowed to be the special master in this case. And so here, Trump's lawyers clearly didn't research this issue correct to pick someone who's not even retired and to falsely claim that Judge Dearie was retired. So on that basis, Judge Dearie may actually get disqualified if he's not allowed to take the employment based on his current status as a judge who's sitting on senior status and not retired. If you're a retired judge, you could take private employment, but there's a lot of rules with current judges. So one of the things that the government said, though, is we're willing to accept him if we can. So my view is that to the extent Judge Dearie is permitted to be the special master, he would be the one who's appointed because there seems to be agreement there, but it's possible that he's not going to be allowed to do it based on the fact that he is privately employed. The other two people who the government suggested was the Honorable Barbara S. Jones. This was a retired judge, and she was the special master on the Michael Cohen case and the Rudy Giuliani case. And that's where special masters were appropriate because it dealt with lawyers and attorney-client documents, not making decisions about executive privilege, but attorney-client privilege issues. And the other judge who was recommended by the Department of Justice was the Honorable Thomas B. Griffith, who sat on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, a very respected and distinguished judge. And the thing here that the government says in terms of who they want to be as the special master, they just saying that having substantial judicial experience is really an important factor for who we're going to appoint as a special master. Paul Huck Jr. doesn't have that judicial experience, and that's why they're fine with the three judges. But Trump's selection of Dearie may have backfired. It may have backfired for two reasons. One, his lawyers mistakenly believing that Judge Dearie was retired, which may make it so that Judge Dearie can't even take this task in the first place, meaning that you'd probably get a selection of the Department of Justices too. But it also could have backfired because the government seems perfectly fine with Judge Dearie, and Judge Dearie is not really a good special master. If you're Trump and you're trying to sweep things under the rug and you're trying to be corrupt, Judge Dearie would certainly rule the exact opposite of what Judge Aileen Cannon has ruled so far to even allow this process and charade to exist. So having Judge Dearie would actually be a good thing, but we'll keep you updated there. The other thing to point out, of course, is that the government's not just accepting the existence of the special master for all purposes. The Department of Justice filed previously the notice of appeal with the 11th Circuit, which is the court of appeal that oversees Judge Aileen Cannon's court, the Trump appointee who has famously or now infamously made some of these really, really horrible rulings that make no sense. And the government and the DOJ have filed a motion for partial stay as while it's being appealed regarding the 100 classified documents that they found that Trump stole and kept at Mar-a-Lago, and made the argument that Judge Cannon, these 100 classified records clearly don't belong to Donald Trump. All the other records don't as well, but you will cause us and the national security of this country irreparable harm if you don't allow us to immediately act upon the information that we found in these top secret, sensitive, compartmented, classified records. As it relates to those classified records, you can't enjoin us or stop us from reviewing those records, and the special master doesn't need to be involved with respect to those documents. And so Trump responded earlier today with an opposition to the motion for partial stay. And I did a longer video on it, so you can check out that video. But Trump basically argued, first, all of these issues and disputes about me stealing top secret, sensitive, compartmented information, it's all a big misunderstanding. This is just a case about a storage issue and a dispute over storage issues. So that was Trump's first argument. Trump's next argument that he made in his opposition to the motion was, I may have declassified it. I may not have declassified it. That's not for us to determine. We just shouldn't believe the government's claim that these documents are legitimately 100 classified records. That should be determined by the special master. But I'm not going to say that they're classified or not classified. They may even be personal records, Donald Trump argued. But I'm not going to, he didn't make that position that they are personal or that they are classified. He just simply said they may be, they may not be. Let the special master decide, which absolutely made zero sense. So that happened earlier today. But regardless, the special master here will be looking at some of the documents, because there were thousands of other government records. And what the special master should be looking at too is potentially attorney-client privilege records, which is a very small subset. But what the special master should not be looking at is executive privilege, is one of the arguments that the Department of Justice previously made, because how are they going to be the ones to make that decision? But anyway, a big news, though, that the Department of Justice is accepting Judge Dearie to the extent that Judge Dearie actually is able to do it. And I don't think Judge Dearie, I'm not really sure you can be a sitting judge and be paid privately to do private cases. I don't think that comports with some of the judicial canons about having other employment while you're a federal, sitting federal judge. But we'll do some more research on that and determine that. But just goes to show you that Trump saying this judge is retired, that Trump just didn't do his research at the most basic bare minimum. Anyway, this has been Mycelis from the MeidasTouch Network, giving you that update on the Department of Justice's position, who the special master should be. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now to support independent media, and you can check us out at our new Patreon website, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Become a patron of MeidasTouch and support independent media. I'll be back. This has been Mycelis.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs, It Wasn't Rigged, You're Just a Loser, at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.